Welcome back, everyone, to But Did You Die? With the Jet Sisters. We were busy the last couple weeks. I was on vacation 1 week, and then Angie was at a conference the next week, so...
Yes, I was in New York City. I was staying in Hell's Kitchen, my old neighborhood, eating all my old favorite food, which is very exciting. I was at the International Media Marketplace, which is where hundreds of destinations come and then meet with all the media. So that's kind of where I get a lot of our projects for the year and go make new connections and also see all my friends that do the same thing that we do. So it was really fun. And
did you meet anybody cool?
Did I meet anybody cool?
Cool or new?
No. No, because I already know everybody that's cool. I went to Samantha Brown, your idol's launch party, which I know you're super jealous that I get to go all the time. But yeah, and saw all our friends. Everyone asked about you. You totally wish you were there, but no, you weren't there.
That's all right. So, I was here.
Yeah. Somebody's got to hold down the fort, right? We can't both travel all the time because who's going to watch the dogs?
Sure we can.
Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so we've been working on a lot of things, and we're back, and now we're on a schedule. So here we go.
That's not true. I will be out next week, so we will miss another week. I'm sorry. I'll be directing. I will be in the field all week, and there is no room for anything. So this one will have to hold everybody over.
I'm directing.
Well,
what if we just start filming But Did You Die, or record But Did You Die with one Jet sister?
Just the weeks that the other one missed, we'll just talk to, maybe.
We'll just talk about the other one to everyone else, like while the other one's, I'm gonna record next week and I'm just gonna talk about you. Okay, great idea. I wanted to talk about this because it happened a couple weeks ago and this is insane. So tell us what happened to your front yard.
Yes, so we live in Longwood, which is just a little bit north of Orlando. Not in a super wooded area. If you drive 5 minutes up, there is a state park, so keep that in mind. So Ben got a text from our neighbor across the street a couple weeks ago. It was a video from their Ring camera of a black bear in their front yard, like next to the cars, saying like, hey, just so you know, there's a bear around here, so be careful with the dogs. A freaking bear in our neighborhood in Orlando.
The fun thing about that is that every time I come down and visit, I bring my little dog and I take him for a walk in the middle of the night in the front yard. I don't have my glasses on. I don't have my contacts in. We're just standing out there in the dark. A bear could be nearby, so now I can't do that anymore.
I'm wondering how many times you've taken Skywalker out and there has been a bear. But we're on the neighborhood app, so we've seen other people post bear activity. Did not think it would
surprise.
Yeah.
That's a thing that happens in Florida more and more often. Our bear population is coming back. Mm-hmm. And I'll also say, just like our alligators and our sharks, the bears are pretty friendly.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to just know how to deal with a bear.
Yeah. These kind of bears, for sure.
However, it's make me think, oftentimes our dogs will wake up in the middle of the night and just start barking. So I'm wondering how many times there have been bears right there. So that's fun.
All the times.
Yeah, good stuff.
All of the times. Okay, so there was a bear in your yard and you went to Guatemala.
Yes. That's where I was missing for one of the podcast weeks. Went to Guatemala for a wedding. Probably one of the best weddings I've ever been to. It was so cool.
Come on, better than mine.
Oh, 100%. And I'm really glad that we got married first because there's so many things. I'm like, dang, we should have done this. We should have done that. So it pays to get married first because this one was like, it was up there. A lot of fun. And I'll get more into the destination later on in the podcast, so stick around.
Well, in the meantime, let's pop to travel news because some big news came out that probably affects at least some of our listeners. Because two of the destinations on the State Department's watch out, traveling is scary list are ones that especially people from Florida visit all the time, Jamaica and the Bahamas. So the State Department issued and updated a travel advisory putting Jamaica at a level 3, which is reconsider travel, and Bahamas at a level 2. So I did some digging to find out what exactly this is all about. And Here's what you need to know. If you have a trip planned to the Bahamas or Jamaica, don't cancel it. But do be extra cautious in where you're staying. Specifically, Jamaica, there are actual neighborhoods and areas that are listed out on this thing, and it's like, don't go there. So don't go there. That's very easy to do. Jamaica is very resort heavy. If you're just visiting and going to a resort, you should be fine. But it's once you
Yes.
kind of get out and
We
about.
that is where Ben and I honeymooned, was a resort in Jamaica, and we heard, hey, maybe just go to the resort, stay there, which we did. We did not venture out because his cousin used to live in Jamaica when she was doing I don't know what it was, some kind of research project for birds. And she was held up at a gas station by a guy with a machete. So she pulled out her own machete and was like, nice try, leave me alone. And he backed off. So when we told her we were going to Jamaica, she was like, please stay at the resort. And we
Bring a
did.
machete.
Fine. Yeah, easy, fine, no worries. But interesting about the Bahamas, you said it was a level 2. What exactly does level 2 mean?
Level 2 is like exercise caution, which if you're traveling to another country, you should always be at a level 2. You should always be exercising caution and not showing up at a place uninformed or not knowing what neighborhoods you're walking into. The thing about the Bahamas that's a bit different from Jamaica, Jamaica is one island. So, things can move from here to there, whatever. Bahamas is 700 islands, and there's problems on one of them, maybe two, and these are the most populated ones. These are the port cities, so you can imagine what kind of crime we're talking about here that they're concerned about. It's gang violence. It's not necessarily like tourist related stuff, although it can spill out. And if you end up in the wrong place at the wrong time, like anywhere,
Literally anywhere.
Anywhere.
Jacksonville.
hello. Yeah, I had
Orlando.
a gal commenting on a video of mine that's like, no one should be going to the Bahamas because of all the murders. And I'm like, I don't have time to explain to you how islands work and geography, but what's going on in a pretty localized area of Nassau is not going to spread 300 miles south to like next to Cuba where all the flamingos are. Like, you need to calm down. Don't freak out. And I think people hear the Bahamas and they think all the Bahamas is the same. And from what I've been sharing on my Instagram lately, Nassau is just not representative of the rest of the Bahamas. Really, the whole country is so much different. And the islands couldn't be more peaceful, couldn't be less crime. Like, you don't need shoes. It's depending on where you go. So, keep that in mind. If you are planning a trip to the out islands, please do not give it a second thought. Do not give it a second thought in the Bahamas. If you're going to Nassau, give it a second thought and a third thought. Figure out where you're going. If you're booking like an Airbnb or something, that is really when you need to be extra cautious. Make sure you're not booking in a neighborhood that's seeing an uptick in crime. That's for Jamaica as well. So keep an eye on things. Be safe.
Jamaica.
Always.
Go to Jamaica, stay at a resort, be safe. Go to the Bahamas, stay in the safe neighborhoods. Go to Jacksonville, same. And when you go to Orlando, watch out for bears.
Hello. Every place is dangerous, but it
Got it.
doesn't mean we stop traveling, right? We just make sure we're prepared no matter where we're going. So I just wanted to put that out there. I've been getting a lot of questions like, why are you still promoting the Bahamas when it's so dangerous? Please miss me with that nonsense. Okay.
Well, that's interesting. Because I had heard that some of the numbers have gone up. So good travel update news fact source. Thank you, sister.
Yeah, I feel like that should be pretty helpful for a lot of our folks because the islands are so close. Very easy to get to from just about anywhere. So let's move into most recent travels. You went to Guatemala. I have never been to Guatemala, so I'm supremely jealous. Your pictures and your videos were gorgeous. The wedding looked truly over the top in the best possible way. Gorgeous. I was jealous. I'm like, I want to be friends with these people, but too late to get an invite now. Anyway, tell us about Guatemala. Give us your tips and tricks.
It was amazing. So we'll start at the beginning. Guatemala is in Central America. It took about 2.5 hours direct flight from Orlando to Guatemala City. We went to Antigua, Guatemala. So that was about an hour and a half, 2 hour bus ride from the city into Antigua.
Okay.
And Antigua is gorgeous. It's and I always say this wrong, UNESCO?
I think it's UNESCO, but that could also be completely made up.
I think it is UNESCO because I always say the wrong one. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it's like you cannot touch it, you cannot change the paint. Gorgeous. We flew in on a Thursday and stayed till a Sunday. It was the perfect amount of time, I think, in that city. In Guatemala, no. There are many places to visit, and I feel like we really haven't done Guatemala yet. We've just done Antigua. So we rented an Airbnb a little bit outside of the city center, but it was all walking distance, so maybe a 10-15 minute walk to all the places that we needed to go. Our friends who also went, so I think 300 people may have been invited to this wedding and about 250 went, give or take some numbers. So the venue, the hotels that were there were beautiful 5-star resorts that we could have booked, but we wanted to save a little bit more money and I think do a little bit more things. Our dollar went a long way. I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's 13 cents for every dollar, but
that is not my wheelhouse, TBH.
It's dollar went far. Just know the dollar went far.
Okay.
I mean, we had one of the dinners. We got bottles of wine, appetizers, desserts, steak, and I think we spent $20. So,
ooh, okay.
not bad.
And you said it was a direct flight from Orlando?
It was on Spirit. Not every airline will give you that. I'd rather take a direct Spirit flight than a connecting American. That's just me.
Sure. Well, and if you're not going for a very long time, then if you're going for a weekend, you don't need a bunch of bags and stuff and whatever. So Spirit's not a bad option.
I packed everything in a backpack, which I'm very proud of.
Nice.
For a wedding. That's heels, tennis shoes, flip-flops. It was black tie, so a ball gown, a welcome party dress.
Wow.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
That's impressive.
I'm pretty impressive.
I'll be honest, I've never packed carry-on only in my life. So
Really?
yeah, I have a lot of beauty products and it's just hard to carry them.
So what did we do? The first day we were there, we just explored. So we walked around the city, ate a little of this. Very easy to walk in one day. I will say, the streets, the cobblestone, Ben about twisted his ankle 7 times.
Wow.
So you cannot wear heels and walk around. Do not wear heels. Please wear tennis shoes. Yes, you have to wear shoes. It was interesting. But that's really what we did the first day. We had dinner. There's so many rooftops that you can have dinner on. We did a lot of that. And the views. Guatemala has more than 30 volcanoes. And
Really?
3 of them are active. And you can see, I think 2 of them in Antigua. You're kind of sitting in like a bowl. So you're in the middle and it's just surrounded by mountains. And 1 active volcano. And then another one that's just beautiful and you can see. But the one is pretty active. So every 15-20 minutes there's smoke going up. What? Which is crazy. You're eating a cheeseburger on a rooftop and you're watching a volcano explode.
Is it exploding? Like, do you see lava or do you see smoke?
You can see lava at night.
Did you see lava?
We did not see lava. But if you hike the mountain next to it, you can see it like running down. Scary, scary, scary. Yeah. We did not hike.
That's not scary. That's amazing.
Yeah, but well, it's pretty easy to get to. You just have to take a Spirit flight. So that was fun. That night we found a bar that was doing like live salsa dancing music. Oh, hi, Skyboy. So we danced to some salsa music, which was kind of scary because everybody there knew what they were doing. And then there's the 4 of us who were like, do, 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 do. But there were 2 very nice men who grabbed Morgan and myself and taught us some moves, which was fun. Okay. And so then we taught the boys and did some dancing. So fun. It was amazing.
You were there for what? 3 nights? 2 nights? 3 nights?
3 nights. So that was just the first night. Then we get to the second day. Second day, we are doing an ATV tour of the area. So we booked the tour. It was 5 hours. It was guided. So we jumped on these ATVs and you go up these mountains and then you would stop and the guide would talk to you about the area, took us to some cool spots, went to get like a bird's eye view of Antigua. Very beautiful. Jumped back on the ATVs. Then we went to an eco lodge avocado farm, which I will be back to stay there. There's yoga, there are silks, ice baths, hammocks everywhere. And it was harvesting season, so we just ate guacamole and tacos. It was so nice. So nice. And then back on the ATVs to a pickup truck that took us even higher to, it was called Altamira, and it was hands that you walk out into the ledge and take photos. So beautiful photo spot. Really fun. I think we were out there for 5 or 6 hours. So really half a day of fun. We saw so much versus we were really thinking about just doing a hike, but I'm really glad we did the ATV tour because we did get to see so much more. Happy we did that. I'll put a link in the description if anybody wants to book it. A lot of fun. And then that night was the welcome party. So again, another rooftop, another beautiful view. More salsa dancing, more tacos, perfect. And then the next day was the wedding. Now here's where my drama happened. I can come back to it, or we can start now. I'll go to it, all right. When I woke up that morning, I thought I was having a heart attack. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. I don't know what it was. It was horrible. I have never felt that pain. I was like, cool, I'm going to die in Guatemala. Then I ate a cheeseburger and it went away. I don't know. It took a couple hours for like from waking up at 7 to eating at noon. Like that was my, do I go to the hospital or do I just die? But the cheeseburger helped, so.
Couple of things. You have travel insurance, right? Okay, so you're an idiot. You have to get travel insurance. Especially you're advancing in age, my dude. So it is very important to have travel insurance. You never know when you're just going to need to pop over to the ER for chest pain. This happens to us elderlies, us elder millennials from time to time, So get travel insurance, especially if you're going to be going somewhere. Get Medjet, which will get you back to your home airport if you need that. I don't know. Do you think it was like anxiety or like gas? Like what's your problem?
In my chest?
I don't know. I don't know how chests work. I'm just saying it could have been a lot of things, but were you anxious or you just were like, whatever? This happens to me every time I go somewhere. Every time I leave the country, I'm like, I'm dying right now. I'm dying. I'm going to have to go to the hospital. One of the last times we went to Costa Rica, my stomach hurt so bad that I popped into an urgent care and was like, hi, excuse me, do you have a CT scanner? Because I need a CT of my abdomen. And they were like, no, you have to go to San Jose for that. And I was like 2 hours away. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just die. So it actually worked out fine. And I didn't die. And apparently nothing was wrong. But I had such bad pain. Like couldn't eat, couldn't hardly walk. It was not ideal. And I do hate that for travel. It's not fun, but yeah. So you didn't need any medicine. It was just like a rough minute, and then you were fine.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Do you remember a couple days earlier before we left, I thought my appendix was exploding? Like all night I was freaking out and I was literally laying on the bathroom floor. And then the next day I was like, if it doesn't go away by tonight, I will go to the hospital. And it went away. So all good. So I was like, maybe the exploding appendix and then the heart chest pain is connected. But truly, it went away and I've been fine ever since. I know, it sounds bad. And when I say it out loud, yeah, whatever. I'll go to the doctor one day. What are you going to do? And then it was wedding time. And that was great. And it was the best wedding. That wedding started at 5 and went till 1 a.m. We danced from like 7 to 1. And I love dancing at weddings.
Please tell us about the venue because the pictures and the video you sent were not even to be believed.
No, it was so beautiful, and I don't know how to explain it. So here is a photo. It was in an old church. You can see here, there are ruins. It was gorgeous. So this is where the wedding was, and then the cocktail hour. Then we were transported to the hotel where you go underground to what looks like even more ruins to party all night. And I'm like, okay, so to have a wedding, like dancing, music until 1 a.m., you gotta be underground. So it all makes sense. We truly danced 4 hours. It was amazing. There was a saxophone guy that showed up. There were people on stilts. There was like a big shot cart of tequila. What else happened? It was just, they were passing out crown. It was so amazing. Doug and Nat totally nailed it for Wedding of the Century. I want to relive it over and over and over again. And it wasn't even my wedding. I got that is how you do it. That was amazing. The bad part, drama number 2, we stopped dancing, ended at 1 a.m. Had to walk back to our place at, 15, 20 minutes. Our shuttle arrived at 7 a.m. to take us to the airport and catch our flight. So if you do the math, like maybe 4 hours of sleep. The shuttle picked everybody up at the hotel, so we had to leave the Airbnb first thing in the morning, walk to the hotel where the shuttle was being picked up. So a lot to do in the morning, but we made it. Shuttle was nice. I thought for sure everybody on it would be sick. Not windy. Everything was perfect. Got home, easy, done, perfect. Antigua, we crushed it. We will be back to Guatemala to do the other things. But yeah, that was our very, very quick week, and I really feel like we did a lot considering we went there for a wedding. So it was awesome.
Here's a question. Two questions. One, now that you have been there, do you wish you stayed at the hotel where everybody else stayed instead of an Airbnb, or was that still a good choice?
Oh, that is a good question. It's so hard to answer. Financially, we saved a ton of money by staying at the Airbnb. For 4 days, it was $300. Oh, I didn't even tell you about the view. We had our own rooftop view. That was beautiful. Loved, loved, loved. It was a lot of extra walking. If we walked into town, 15 minutes, walked home, 15. That's 30 minutes of just walking. I don't know. I'm happy with the money we saved.
So, will you drop the hotel in the show notes for everyone, just in case they want to plan a trip to Guatemala? And then part 2 of my question here is, should we plan a group trip to Guatemala? It would be a great place to stretch a dollar, great, outdoorsy, fun, right? Easy enough to get to. I feel like every time we try to plan a group trip, either the pandemic happens or something ridiculous happens and we don't get to do it. What if we do it somewhere a little bit closer and cheaper and more fun? Okay, that is what I want to end our whole deal on. Folks, do you want to come to Guatemala with the Jet Sisters?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Yeah, so put that in the comments. Do we have comments? Put it in the comments. Anyway, so that just about wraps us up for this week. Do you have anything else to add?
I'll say maybe if you are planning a trip, whether that be with us or not with us, I would say when you get there, take cash out of the bank, have that ready. The restaurants in Antigua will take credit cards, but you're going to want to tip people, your taxi driver. That's going to be really easy. Please bring tennis shoes. That's going to help save your life. Wedding night, we did not walk back. We definitely took a little taxi because it was I could not have walked 1 block on those streets in high heels. Felt very safe, which was nice being a woman. Love that journey for us. Those are my tips. That's really it. like I said, we only went to one town in Guatemala. Would have loved to explore more, but there's tons of information out there if you're planning a trip to Guatemala.
Well, thank you for all the Guatemala tips, Rae. Let's talk about what we're doing next week. Stop. What are we doing next week? I don't know. I'm basically in book cray-cray town because it is now February, which means next month is March, and that is when my book is coming out. Reviews are already starting to come in. I have a paperback copy already, and I'm gonna get a box full of hardcovers really soon, and then I'm absolutely gonna lose my mind and probably need to be committed to an institution because it's a lot going on at once, right? It is.
It sure
I'm
is.
planning a lunch party and
A lunch party.
a lunch party. I'm planning a lot of things. So it's, that's kind of what's on my mind now in addition to regular work and la la la. So I don't have any big travels coming up between now and then thus far.
I will be in California next week directing an episode of the college tour. So, like I said earlier, we cannot record next week, but I will be making some pretty cool content for Amazon Prime. Enjoy, everyone. But I think that's all. That's all, really. That's all I got for next week. I got to focus on that, and then I'll think about what's going on next.
Yeah, we've absolutely kind of got a lot going on, which is nothing new, but all exciting stuff. It's going to be a good year, right? I think so. It's going to be a dang good year for the Jet Sisters.
It's going to be a really good year.
I think so too. I have a good feeling, and as nervous as I am about the book Flirting with Disaster coming out on March 12th, it's the best thing ever, right? This is my dream come true, and I am so pumped, and I am recording, 5 podcast interviews a day to do promotion, and I guess once we get a little bit closer, I'll be doing a lot of TV stuff, so watch for me. I'll be around. That's about it. Remember, every time you subscribe, share, like our content, you help us pay for these precious, precious angels. We have to play that Sarah McLachlan song. Oh, I see the babies. Look at the babies. Look at the children. Don't you want to help them? He needs a haircut, you guys. Anyway, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell a friend. And we will see you for episode 8 just as soon as we get it done.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye.